Thank you for joining us for another edition of 3 Questions with USFDons.com. We're here with USF men's soccer head coach Erik Visser. The Dons close out the non-conference schedule with a pair of home matches this weekend against Bay Area rivals San Jose State and Brown. And Coach, last weekend the Dons dropped a couple of matches in the Bay Area Soccer Classic to number 5 Cal and Stanford. What do you hope your team takes away from the experience?
Well, number one, Sacramento State was a game that we felt we didn't play well. They took us out of our game, but that's a game that we thought was a very winnable game. I think the California-Berkeley game came at a very good time for us early in the season because, to be really frank, Berkeley, in the many years that I've coached, this was one of the best college teams on that night that I've ever seen. I called the coach from Cal and congratulated him with the performance of his team. I think what we take away from the Cal team is that we know what we need to work on to be a really good team and a contender for conference.
With some injuries to key players, newcomers have been inserted into the lineup. How will this help your program long term?
As you said, long term, I think it's really going to benefit us. It enables us to take a look at some younger players that maybe not immediately we were looking for help, but they were called on a little bit earlier due to injuries. I think Vinny Calairo in the last 2 games has stepped in and has done very well as a freshman. So I think getting games in against Cal and Stanford will really accelerate, his process. I think obviously with the injury to Brian Burke, we had to look at some other players that have stepped up as well. And at goalkeeping, we're very pleased with the progress of our freshman goalkeeper, Brendan Russell, as well. So we trust that Williams and Burke will be available for conference. And I think with them coming back for conference and adding some younger players to the mix, I think we trust and hope it will benefit us for our conference run, which is going to be a very tough challenge this year.
This week the Dons face San Jose State and Brown in the final non-conference matches of the year. What does your team need to accomplish this weekend to prepare itself for what should be a very challenging conference race?
I think the way the team responded after the Cal game, going to Stanford and play a very good game of soccer where I thought we defended really well. We really played well as a team. Unfortunately, the goal didn't go our way in overtime, but the team did everything I asked them to do. I think that is the goal for the next 2 pre-conference games, that this team really is able to compete 90 minutes as a unit and initially defend well, which we hope will be a foundation for our conference success. And with that, obviously after 3 consecutive losses, I think it will be very good for our team to get 1 or 2 victories.
The Dons host San Jose State Friday at Negoesco Stadium and then take on Brown. If you can't make it to the Hilltop in person, Game Tracker and live video streaming courtesy of Yahoo Broadcast will be available for both matches. Thanks, Coach, and good luck.
You're welcome.